Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at my G1 Transformers Minibot Gears. So grab yourself a frosty beverage, sit back and enjoy the review. Hey guys, M here from Transformers and Video Games, and welcome back to the channel. With the upcoming release of the Walmart G1 reissue Gears, I thought that this would be as good a time as any to pull up my vintage figure and finally get around to reviewing it. If you enjoy my reviews or just want to support my channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Now let's get started. Before we take a closer look at my Hasbro release of the toy, I thought I'd show a fairly uncommon pre-Transformers version of the figure. Before they were rolled out in North America under the Transformers branding, many of these toys were released under the Diaclone and Microchange branding in Japan and in other parts of the world. Here's a mint on sealed card specimen of my Diaclone version of Gears, only in this case his name is Pickup. This version of the figure was made in Japan by Takara, but licensed to Justra, which was a French toy company that held the license to market Diaclone and Microchange toys in Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. I absolutely love the packaging for this figure. The font that they used for the word Diaclone looks really good, and the artwork for the toy is absolutely awesome. I think that the stylized way that they've drawn the vehicle gives Gears a sort of aggressive appearance, and in my opinion, it makes the vehicle look cooler than it actually is. Now we'll flip it over and take a look at the back side of the packaging. I know that the transformation is pretty intuitive, but one thing that I noticed here is that they didn't include any instructions on or inside the packaging. The Transformers version shows 3 steps and 4 illustrations on how to convert the figure from robot mode to vehicle and back again, but in this case they expect you to figure it out on your own. On the back of the card, there are pictures of 8 other Diaclone figures that were also available at the time. In the top row next to Gears, we have Huffer, Windcharger, and Brawn, all with different names, of course. In the second row, we have 3 fairly lackluster-looking figures that would later become the Transformers Power Dashers, which were mail-away promotions. And along the bottom, we of course have Laserbeak and Ravage. If I'm not mistaken, I also have the carded Laserbeak as well in my collection. Now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at the figure in alt mode. Gears is a small red, black, and blue truck with exaggerated proportions since it was originally intended to be a transforming toy truck and not a transforming real-world style vehicle like Hoist or Trailbreaker. I think that the colors really complement each other in vehicle mode, so I have no complaints in that respect. If you want to be able to determine if your Gears is a vintage figure or a reissue, take a look at the date stamp. On the inside of the wheel well on mine, it says Takara Co. Limited, and it also says Japan, 1974-1983. The Walmart G1 reissue hasn't been released yet, so I don't know what year it'll indicate, but only a vintage Gears will show that it was made in Japan. I'm assuming that the date stamp will be in the same place on the Walmart G1 reissue version, but I can't be 100% sure yet. The front of the figure has a beautiful chrome grille, and the very front of the hood has an M molded in place, which I can only guess stands for Microchange. If anybody has any other theories, be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section. The side of the vehicle looks pretty good. I like the fact that the windows are actually made out of black plastic and that it's not black paint, which can chip and easily rub off over time. There are a couple of spaces at the back of the truck for where the legs fold around, but aside from that, the design is actually pretty clean. Gears has 4 plastic tires with aggressive treads that are held in place by metal rivets. My wheels roll fine on a carpet or table, but understandably have very inconsistent traction on a wood or glass surface. When you look at the underside of the truck, you can see the chrome robot thighs, which could theoretically just be part of the truck structure, but if there was any doubt that it was actually a robot on disguise, you can clearly see his face. Overall, I've got to say, I'm pretty happy with the vehicle mode of this figure. Now we'll get into the transformation. First step, you're going to want to flip the legs around at the back. Pull the arms out at the sides. And then you can position them upwards a little bit just for a bit more of a natural look. And that's it for the transformation. Now we'll take a quick look at the figure in robot mode. I think he has a decent head sculpt, and I like the fact that they gave him blue eyes, or more specifically a blue visor, since after all, he is an Autobot. He has some nice molded details on his chest, as well as a triangular shaped chest sticker, and an Autobot faction symbol on his waist and on his back. You can tell that my figure is the 1984 version of the toy, since it doesn't have the rub sign that came with the 1985 release of the figure. The chrome thighs are nice and shiny. Mine are actually still fairly new looking, even after all these years. Just look how they catch the light. I wish that new Transformers figures came with chrome parts. It would make them so much better. Gears has a very basic robot mode, but I think that they did a really nice job on it overall. This isn't going to take long, but now I'll quickly get into the articulation of the figure. The arms will rotate a full 360 degrees at the shoulder, and unfortunately his arms are just way too short for Takara to have even contemplated doing elbow articulation on a figure this size. He does have a pretty deep knee bend. That's due to transformation. I don't really consider the knee bend to be meaningful articulation, since you can't realistically pose him with his legs back like that. And that's it for articulation. Alright guys, here we are with the figure back in alt mode, and I think I'm going to leave it at that for today. In conclusion, would I recommend picking up a G1 Gears and adding it to your collection? Both modes are pretty basic, but I think that can be expected for a figure this size. Overall, it's a fun toy and one that looks good in either mode on display. I'd say if you can get the Walmart G1 reissue for retail price or better, then why not add this figure to your collection? But I honestly wouldn't pay aftermarket prices for it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Take care.